I teach boxing in my spare time, and one day a week, I teach it to kids. There's a mom who I'm starting to feel like is taking advantage of these classes. She's increasingly late with picking up her kid after the session. To give some context, this is a rich woman. It's not that she's out working a job. She is a stay-at-home parent. No other kids. She told me all this because another thing she loves to do is have really long conversations with me on top of already being late. She's been late most of March. I talked to her about it at the end of the month and she apologized and said it won't happen again. It did. 2 times now. So I started timing her. The second week of April, she arrived 45 minutes late. Then spent maybe 20 minutes talking to me. The other day, I timed her again. She got there around the 1-hour mark. I made a point to show her my timer and I gave her a warning that I will remove her kid from my class. She still tried to continue arguing, at which point I raised the timer and turned it on again. She said I was being unjustifiably rude. I explained that I have other obligations and her consistent lateness throws my schedule off. She got all furious and stomped to the driver's side of her car. Her kid rolled down his window to say thank you and bye to me. I told him bye and added tell your mom to stop being late. She reported our conversation to my boss saying that I told her kid he will get kicked out of the program. I didn't say that. My boss still gave me a lecture about how I don't have that power and can't make the statements I did. He went over professionalism and how I'm being too hard on this mom who could have other circumstances going on. I do have a bit of a cold vibe and I'm working on that. But I'm not getting paid for the hour after this class that I spent hanging out with her kid. The kid's great. But I have things to do. For people who work with kids, what's the etiquette here? Do I give parents grace? Update, 10 days later, I took various notes from the people who gave me tips here. I wrote a detailed email to my boss and CC'd other people who run this program, including co-instructors. I did this for transparency, accountability, and to put pressure on my boss to provide a policy around the issue instead of him dealing with us all individually/case by case. My boss didn't respond to the email. Instead he called me in to see him. I kind of had a feeling though. He asked me why I sent the email ceasing everyone and was clearly not happy about my approach. He kept trying to minimize the situation, and make me feel that I am in the wrong. He told me that I'm being greedy. That my attitude about one parent being late is exaggerated and I'm looking for problems. I should essentially just wait around after hours if I need to sometimes, unpaid, because it's a program for kids, and I should do it with some heart. Do it for the kids. I had to turn my face to hide the fact that I wanted to laugh at that moment. Having proper policy in place not only protects the staff, it protects the kids, not to mention his fucking business. After I made my perspective a little more clear, he came around a little. Unfortunately, he flat out told me he will not back pay me for the time that I've logged waiting for this mom, but he will implement a late policy moving forward. He's followed through on that. He tried to throw in other incentives for me. I didn't accept them. That mom wasn't late this week. She did try to catch my eye when she picked her son up and I ignored her. She ended up getting out of her car and asked me if I saw her waving. I kept ignoring her. She wore me down because she kept following me around while I locked up. I informed her why she's getting the silent treatment. She apologized and also tried to write me a check on the spot. I didn't take the money. I told her. Honestly, I might quit instead. I am not sure about it though. Update 2. 9 months later, longer story. Towards the end of last year she approached me. She said she was separating from her husband and hinted that the marriage was abusive. She said her reason for getting in touch with me was to take me up on my offer about teaching her how to box. I told her I was only offering so I could make her suffer. The thing is, I don't think joining a combat sport immediately as a means to process abuse is always the best form of action. I get why it's empowering, but if you're not doing therapy or something alongside it, it might frame things for you in an unhealthy way. So I think you need both. That's just my personal opinion. I felt ill-equipped to be the starting point of her healing or whatever, even though she was reaching out to me so sincerely. So I redirected her to someone else. She started going to those classes I connected her with and occasionally texted me about them. Straightforward texts, questions, asking me my opinion, etc. We'd have short exchanges, a few texts back and forth with no pattern and a lot of gaps in between. About a week ago, I ran into her in person and she convinced me to have coffee with her, and I don't know how to explain it. There is some kind of intensity between us and we decided to see where it leads. Given how many people thought something was there and how oblivious I was to it, I felt this might be worth sharing. I didn't know her age back then, but I found out she's 32. I'm 25. This woman had a crush on me or some kind of interest in the least. And I was too angry at her, the situation, to notice. We're seeing each other now. I won't get your hopes up because it's probably just temporary.